Welcome, welcome. You're listening to the Drink a Little podcast, where we talk about exploring the world of wine and spirits while not letting it take over your life. My name is Kelly Doherty. I'm a joyful child of God and a certified life coach. I'm also a wine educator and a wine and spirits brand designer. I'll show you how you can navigate your relationship with alcohol and how that mindset spills over into the rest of your life. We'll learn about the world of wine and spirits together, all while bolstering your confidence that you can have boundaries around alcohol and live your most amazing life. So how this works is we taste a little and then we see where that leads us in the world of managing our mind and creating intentionality around drinking. And today we are exploring the 2021 California Bar Dog Pinot Noir. Now, I'm noticeably not in my studio this week, so my sound is a little tinny, and I have tropical birds and waves in the background. I am on vacation, but even on vacation at beachy locales, I'm thinking about you guys. I'm thinking about how we desire or how we choose a wine, and then how we choose a glass, and then another, and another. And we'll talk about it in true bar dog style. So Bar Dog is the name of the wine this week, and I totally bought it because of the label. It showcases a drawing of an adorable French bulldog wearing a monocle, just like Mr. Peanut. And this drawing just brought me true joy. So if you want to see it, if you're on my Facebook page, Kelly Doherty Coaching, you can see a picture of my dog, Coco, and what she thought of this wine. So after picking it up based on the label, I loved getting the opportunity to read about what this Bar Dog brand is doing. They support rescue shelters across North America in partnership with Pet Finder Foundation. And the Pet Finder Foundation awards grants funded by Bar Dog Wines to shelters, helping them provide pet food, supplies, and veterinary treatment for dogs awaiting adoption. So that is what you call a win-win with wine. And when I looked it up, Bar Dog has several different breeds, or what in wine we call them varietals. So the one we're talking about today is 100% Pinot Noir. So they have some other cute ones that are different grape varietals, and then they have different dog breeds drawn on them. So normally I would pour and taste this right now, but I pre-tasted this for you guys. And after I opened it, I decided not to try to take it on the plane with me to the beach. So I hope you understand. And from my notes, this wine is simply California appellated. It means that the grapes can be sourced from anywhere in California, and they blend Pinot Noir from different vineyards, but it's all from the same year's harvest of 2021. So when I tasted it, it was really food-friendly, easygoing, red fruit character that is typical of Pinot Noir. You've got cherry, cranberry, strawberry, with a little French oak, so not overpowering. And what I really enjoyed as it opened up were some interesting notes of spice and vanilla, even cola nut. So this is a medium-bodied, everyday drinking wine. Nothing wrong with that at all. But when I say everyday wine, I mean easy to drink, affordable, not saving it for a special occasion. I do not mean by any means that you have to drink it every day. I love words so much. Other than my general love of all dogs as a reason to choose this label this week, we have a lot in common with our dogs that I wanted to explore. We are so similar in some of our psychology, and what I'm talking about here is our conditioned response to external stimuli. Some of us can actually see a liquor store, drive by a bottle shop, driving down the road and think, I'd like a glass of wine. That'd be great. And some other people can see that same liquor store or bottle shop and drive right by without that thought. So it's clear that we have literally trained ourselves to think that I want to have a glass of wine over time. And repetition of rewarding that thought with an actual glass of wine is how we've gotten to where we are today. So do you guys remember Pavlov and his dogs? Rings somewhat of a high school bell, doesn't it? Right? He wasn't trying to be a psychologist, but this Pavlov guy did have a huge impact on the world of psychology, and noticed that when he used a metronome, and later we interpreted that metronome sound as a bell, he used that metronome in association with a person bringing his dogs food. They started to associate the sound of the metronome with receiving the food, and the dogs began to salivate. They began to salivate in anticipation of that food even before it arrived. Eventually, even if the food didn't come and the metronome was making the sound, they salivated. It wasn't because they smelled the food, it was because the brain had created a conditioned response to the sound, which is an external stimulus. So while it's somewhat reductive to use Pavlov's lifetime of scientific work to explain this, it's very similar to how we acquire a habit of drinking. It's a learned behavior, it's a conditioned behavior, and this conditioned response to external stimuli means that in the past, if you had a desire to drink and you responded to that desire to drink with drinking, then your brain is like, oh, this is a good thing. I just got the reward. And it puts us into like a positive feedback loop. And the good news is that since it's a learned behavior, we can unlearn it. And logically, you've had to learn it because you don't come out of the womb thinking you like wine or scotch, thinking it's amazing. You just think the taste is acquired. That positive reinforcement you give it over time makes your brain think it's helping you get a reward each time. It gives you the idea to have another drink. And it's such good news. It means we can unlearn how to respond to anything that we've programmed. So in this case, you might want to unlearn or at least challenge your brain and pay attention to your brain. Your brain says, I want to have a drink, and you can have a full stop there. Just take a moment, take a breath, and decide consciously. And you may decide yes, you may decide no. And there's no right or wrong there. But notice like what's going on when you're thinking, oh, it's just 5 o'clock. I come home and that's what I normally do. Notice as soon as you get to a restaurant, are you the bar dog that orders your usual? Or do you take your time, chat with your friends, explore the menu? Neither is right or wrong. You get to decide. And make sure that you're in the positive feedback loop that you want to be in. And you can have fun with this, bringing it to a more conscious level. Name your bar dog styles. It will help you recognize when those learned behaviors come up. And it will put space between your thoughts and your actions. And that space is such a beautiful place to grow your next level of intentional conditioned responses. So if your conditioned responses are not what you'd like them to be and you want to take anything I teach to a deeper level, I do have a one-on-one coaching program tailored to your needs where we cover how to stop over-drinking, how to love yourself for all the right reasons, and emotional well-being. Go to kellydoherty.com/cheers to learn more. That's KELLYDOHERTY.com/cheers. I will see you next week where we will talk about the steep slopes of a German Mosel Riesling. See you then.